This morning, an American fast food icon fielding a deadly crisis. The CDC adding an older person in Colorado has died.
Eating fast food, be careful out there.
The CDC confirming a fast-moving outbreak of E. coli tied to restaurant giant McDonald's.
McDonald's sells more burgers in a day than some armies fire rounds in a week. But what if I told you that behind the golden arches, the supply chain reads more like a battlefield riddled with weak points than a fortress of quality? Additives masking low-grade meat, soda fountains hiding colonies of bacteria, and health inspectors treating kitchens like a contaminated zone. This isn't about taste, it's about survival. And if you're a senior, your body is less equipped to fight back. Ready to see which 6 restaurant giants carry the hidden health risks? Let's map the terrain. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
This morning, an American fast food icon fielding a deadly crisis.
Yeah, we took swift action yesterday to remove the Quarter Pounder from our menu. This was swift and decisive action by us.
Eating fast food, be careful out there.
The CDC confirming a fast-moving outbreak of E. coli tied to restaurant giant McDonald's.
Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You think the battlefield is overseas. What if it's your lunch tray? Chains like McDonald's and Wendy's don't hang signs shaped like bunkers, but the message is the same. Strength, stability, safety. When you see arches or logos glowing in neon, you're trained to think support and reliability, not danger. It looks like a fortress.
50 customers sickened in 10 states. 10 have been hospitalized, including a child who's now developed kidney disease.
We are very confident that you can go to McDonald's and enjoy our classics.
The CDC adding an older person in Colorado has died.
But watch closely, and the walls show cracks. Take the bold 100% beef slogan. On the surface, it rings like a patriotic call, a rallying cry for quality. But in practice, it's closer to propaganda plastered on a wall than proof of what lands on your plate. The language hides behind technical definitions and distracts you from how often the real fight is being lost inside the kitchen.
In most of the cases, the agency says customers report eating a widely advertised menu staple, the Quarter Pounder. E. coli, which can include diarrhea, vomiting, and a fever above 102. Contact your local healthcare provider.
The hottest, juiciest Quarter Pounder yet.
Headlines of the outbreak spreading like wildfire on social media.
Look at the fries. They may look simple, but the taste has to be engineered. Chemical flavorings stand in for the real crop. The additives crafted to trick your tongue into thinking fresh farm, when the origin is industrial, not natural. You're not biting into a potato field, you're biting into a lab's replica.
McDonald's USA President Joe Erlinger issuing this video, saying in part,
because food safety is so important to me.
But the agency notes it's very possible more people have gotten sick since then, adding it can take up to 4 weeks to link individual cases. The company in a written statement adding while the exact source of the outbreak remains under investigation, it may be linked to slivered onions.
Seniors with fragile digestion can't always stomach these layers of artificial compounds, and what feels light in the mouth weighs heavy later. Meanwhile, the soda fountain. It's sold as the energy boost, the liquid reinforcement, but the hardware itself is a weak link. Health checks in different regions have documented the buildup inside. Nozzles with black slime growth, tubing that turns into a breeding zone. It's not always visible, yet it waits just behind the spout. Think of it like a rifle barrel in combat. If kept clean, it fires true. If it clogs, the round misfires, risking lives. In fast food, that nozzle is the barrel. Wash or neglect it, and you decide if what pours out is safe. Then there are the rations behind the line. Pre-cooked eggs frozen to extend shelf life, thawed and reshaped until they lose any trace of the source. By the time they land in your sandwich, they resemble a square cartridge more than food. This is efficiency built on sacrifice, the sacrifice of freshness. In war, chain of command contact can break, orders get distorted. Here it's the same. The goal is speed, not quality. Inspection records have flagged real weaknesses. unsafe storage temps for meat in some fast food kitchens, sloppy prep controls with raw and cooked items.
Used in the quarter pounder and sourced by a single supplier that serves 3 distribution centers.
There's going to be a lot of publicity about this. People are going to stop going to McDonald's.
Swift and decisive action. McDonald says it's removed the slivered onions and temporarily the quarter pounder itself.
Stacked within cross-contamination range. A lapse like that isn't a small paperwork error. It's an operational failure. For a senior with a weaker immune system, this stops being about minor illness. It turns into a direct threat. It's not just one chain. The same strategy plays across multiple fronts. Chick-fil-A depends on brining with MSG to lock in a signature flavor, but to sensitive stomachs, that chemical edge can hit hard. Meanwhile, Chipotle has earned records of outbreak incidents tied to food handling. Different tactics, same framework. Shine the spotlight on a story of purity while hiding a battlefield of shortcuts. What you see in ads is not the daily mission carried out in the prep line. The golden arches and glowing signs aren't shields for you, they're shields for them. They protect a system built to keep you believing the front line is safe. But once hidden failures start stacking, the risk spreads meal by meal, like a mapped offensive no one warned you about.
Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb points out the chain's practice is to cook patties at 170 degrees. Industry writer Jonathan Mays credits McDonald's swift action, but notes impacts may be long-lasting, making contaminated meat a less likely scenario. How big of a crisis is this for McDonald's?
Significant, potentially significant.
10 degrees hotter than it takes to kill E. coli, adding the company gets them from multiple beef suppliers.
A senior body already strained can lose that encounter fast. And then comes the harder realization, this illusion of strength isn't confined to fast food. The next wave of risk hides behind warm promises, the language of heritage, tradition, and family. You'll recognize it in sit-down comfort food chains, where pasta bowls and bread baskets offer familiarity. But behind that promise, the same rationing, the same shortcuts wait in ambush. Trust is the most processed item on the menu. Logos and jingles make you lower your guard, but branding can't armor you against hidden weak points. For seniors, every shortcut, chemical seasoning, dirty lines, unsafe storage, hits harder. Your body fights with fewer reserves, and the enemy isn't across the ocean. It's on the plate in front of you. So question the chain you trust like propaganda from a rival force. Which restaurant do you avoid most? Comment your choice below. And subscribe. Join a community that studies vulnerabilities, whether in combat zones or kitchens, and learns to see the real front line.